Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing my first ever Q&A and I'm so excited. So thank you to all of the people who sent in the questions. There's some really interesting ones in there. I'm not going to do these questions in any particular order. I'm literally just going to read them off of my laptop in whichever order they came in. So the first question I got was, how long have you been with your boyfriend? I've been with my boyfriend for 3 years now, so quite a while. It's crazy because we met while I was at uni. We didn't go to the same uni, but just to think like that seems like lifetimes ago, but it still feels like I'm in a new relationship. I don't know, like it's weird because it's probably my longest relationship that I've ever had, so it feels very grown up and I'm like, what, you're still here? So this person asked, I'm a support worker and at uni, what other work experience would you recommend to gain an AP role? So I think any experience in the healthcare setting is really good, especially as a support worker. Also things like ABA tutoring, healthcare assistant roles, but anything where you're kind of like at the front line, understanding kind of different mental health conditions or just learning about what person-centered care really means. What I would recommend is maybe looking at the person specification for assistant psychologists and look at the experience that maybe you're lacking and then try and seek jobs that will give you that experience. So this person asked, what are your thoughts on reflecting on lived experience in AP/DClin Psy applications? So, I don't know about AP applications. I personally don't think I would put it in that section, but I mean you could, it's completely up to you, as long as you're like reflecting on it and there's a purpose for it being in your application. And then in terms of the DClin Psy, I probably would include it in there, and the reason why I'd include it in there is because that's probably moulded you as a person, and I think the DClin Psy application is really looking to see like who you are as a person, whereas the AP application isn't. The AP application, obviously it does want to get a sense of who you are, but I think the main point of it is for them to see whether you can do the job, and it's more kind of like skills based. Whereas with the DClin Psy application, I think it allows for more kind of like personal reflection. So yeah, for that reason, personally, I would probably not put it into an AP application, but I would put it in a DClin Psy application. Hope that helps. Okay, this next one is, have you ever experienced discrimination as an Asian in psychology? I think, I don't know. I mean, there have been a few incidents where like I've noticed another colleague might have called me by the name of another Asian colleague. There's been a time where people have asked, oh, where are you actually from? And then there was also this other incident where they were talking about like some spicy sauce and they were like, oh, Sharon, like, do you know what it's called? And I was like, I don't know. So there's been like things like that, but in terms of discrimination, I would probably say no. And I'm not gonna lie, I think it does help that I'm half white and that I have like a British surname. Maybe it would be different if that wasn't the case and I was fully Filipino and had a Filipino surname. I don't know. I've got a really supportive team and supervisor. Most of us are from a black and ethnic minority background, so it is really helpful. We have like specific meetings for BAME reflective practices. Oh, thank you. Not a question, but I'm an aspiring assistant psychologist / clinical psychologist and I found your videos to be so helpful. Thank you so much for that. Literally, I started off these videos to help people, and that's all I really want to do, is to either help people with their psychology journey, but also just to like show you my life. There's not enough UK vloggers out there who show the like 9-to-5 realness, and yeah, I'm really grateful that people actually watch my videos. It still blows my mind. Okay, so next question. What's your favourite personal quality that you think will make you a good clinical psychologist? Ooh, I would probably say the fact that I feel like this is a double-edged sword, but I'm very empathetic. I really try to put myself in that person's position and try to see their experience through their eyes, and that is really helpful in clinical psychology to just understand the person. But in the same way, because I'm so empathetic, that can make it quite hard to set boundaries between like work and personal life. Like if I have had a tricky day with a client in terms of maybe they're having a hard time, then I will most likely take it home, and that can be quite draining. I think it is a really good quality to have, to be empathetic, because you can't just be this like robot. I guess by the end of the day, in order to have a good therapeutic relationship, you do need to be empathetic on a level, and I think clients can really pick up on that if you are being fake and if you are being quite cold. I think being empathetic helps with the efficiency and efficacy of therapy. So I think that's a pretty good quality that I have, that is helpful for being a clinical psychologist. It just keeps me motivated that this is the correct career for me, like I want to help people and this is a career that will allow me to do that. Okay, does the truth always prevail? This is a very kind of like philosophical question. No. And I don't think so, because not in this world. When you think about people who have like gotten away with murder and like gotten away with loads of stuff, they've gotten away with that action because they're able to get away with the lie. So no, I don't think the truth always prevails, unfortunately. It's just the world that we live in. But I still think we should be as truthful and as honest to people as we can, so long as we're doing it in love. How do you balance your social life amongst the stress of trying to get onto the declin site? I guess it takes a lot of planning, and I know for me that I work best when I have a good balance all round. I did try to give myself some time off from the application process, and it did help that we were in lockdown, so I couldn't really see that many people. But I think overall, like, my work-life balance could be better, but it could be a lot worse, and I think I do manage it quite well. So I try to meet up with friends at least once a week. Well, let's pretend that we're not in COVID, yeah? I try to see my friends, a group of friends, at least once a week. I try to see my boyfriend once a week, and then I always try to do something with my mum once a week, and that can literally be like watching a movie or anything chill at home. So I always have like something there, and I do kind of set myself goals, because there was a period at the beginning of the year when I first started my job that I wasn't really seeing that many of my friends. I actually had to set a goal that I was going to see a friend per week, and that really helped. So I say set yourself some goals if you're struggling with like a work-life balance. Ooh, what was my dissertation on? That is a very good question. I feel like I've blocked that period of my life out of my head because it was so stressful for me. My dissertation was on the relationship between financial concern and student well-being, and then I looked at whether neuroticism was a mediating factor. Have you ever questioned your career path in psychology? Yes, I have, and it happens quite a lot, to be honest, especially like when I was applying for assistant psychologist jobs and when I was applying for the declin Psy. Like, I think in those periods where you're striving for the like next step and it is really difficult and challenging, that's when you kind of question like, oh crap, like, am I really doing this? Like, am I really out here trying to get onto this doctorate 10 years in a row? Because I don't think I have it in me. But also because I went to theatre school full-time from the age of 11 to 16, like, I was meant to go into like acting or musical theatre. That was my path, and then to kind of do a complete 360, 180, to do a complete 180 and go down this academic route, yeah, it's a bit weird. I think I'm still working on like changing the narrative of what I thought my life was going to be, and I think it's okay to question it. Just because you're questioning it doesn't mean you're not passionate enough. I think, yeah, it's normal, especially when it is such a challenging career to get into. Right. Okay, this question made me laugh. Why do you sound so posh? It's weird. Okay, so I don't know if I've ever mentioned this in any of my videos, but I actually live in East London, and so I do sound very different to what people typically sound like from here. And that's because, well, firstly, I went to theatre school, and which I was on a scholarship for, so it was a private school, and then I went to a college also on a scholarship, which was also a private school. And so for my secondary school, that was in Marylebone, so that's like a really posh area, and the same with my college, that was in South Kensington, and so that is probably why. So this is the final question. I suck at interviews. I just go completely blank when they ask an unexpected question. Any tips? Right, so I felt like this when I was first getting interviews, and also well done for getting interviews. Like, I know interviews are hard and they can make you feel like you're awful at them, but you can't be that bad. Like, you've gotten to the point of the interview. I'm sure it's just nerves getting in the way. So what I found really helped was that I stopped preparing for questions. So when I had my first interview, I would literally try to predict loads of different questions, write them all down, and then think of the answers, and then learn all of the answers. And then it wasn't helpful at all because none of those questions came up. And then it also threw me off because I was so busy trying to like remember all of these answers that when an unexpected question came up, I was like, crap, I didn't revise that, like, ah. So first I'd suggest do not rehearse any answers. What I would suggest is going through the person's spec, thinking about the experience you have and reflecting on that, and maybe remember some of the situations, but that's as much memorization that I think you should do. And if it is a really hard question or something that you're not prepared for, then just say, oh, that's a really good question, like, I'm just going to take a moment to think. And have a moment to think. Like, it's fine to pause in your interview. And if it's something that you're like unsure about or you've never come across, then you can say something like, or what I did is in my interviews was say, oh, like, I've never actually come across that situation before, but if I did, then I would probably act in this way, and the reason why I'd act in this way is because of this previous experience. Great, so that is all of the questions. Thank you so much to everyone who sent them in, and hopefully I will do some more Q&As in the future. I really enjoyed filming this, and I hope you're having a lovely day. Please give this video a big thumbs up if you liked it, and subscribe for more content like this, and until next time guys, I'll see you later. Bye!